You trying to sex me?
That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Jacob2998 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. Unfortunately, again, Boogie was not able to join us. He's off with his tooth fairy friend or some shit. Doing
Wait,
some
is that why?
tooth-related business.
He's got tooth business?
So I'm joined today by my good friend Ellis.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Ellis.
We've missed you.
We missed you. So sorry about last week.
Yeah.
I contracted a cold and was not really able to record or anything, and Boogie was out on his tooth vacation. I tried to get Ellis to record the podcast by himself, but I
refused. I adamantly refused.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. You. But
also, tooth vacation makes me think he's like out there, I don't know, like surfing around on like a giant tooth or something like that in a sea of teeth.
A sea of
It's just
teeth?
getting a little eldritch and less, National Lampoon's Fun Vacation.
In National Lampoon's Fun Vacation, did they surf on a tooth? Is that a thing that happened?
No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, okay, they did, because that's notably not the syndicated movie that I can't mention for copyright reasons. National Lampoon's Fun Vacation is perfectly fine to talk about.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
I used to watch it with my family.
The tooth vacation?
We gotta stop with the teeth. You guys get it. Boogie's recovering from surgery. He's sprung a lot of blood leaks in his mouth. He can't talk. That's what happened.
That seems rough. Well, we wish Boogie a speedy recovery. We're raring to get him back on this podcast.
Can't wait.
Chit-chatting. Because right now it's just the two of us.
It's just the two of us. Well, and you. And you wonderful viewers, you're here with us. In spirit,
or
we
listeners. Viewers or listeners.
Well, you can view what you listen to. You just got to put like the little
all
waves
viewers.
Up.
Most viewers are listeners, but not all listeners are viewers.
Yes, exactly. It's a squares and rectangles type of situation.
So while we were gone, lots of news happened. Yes, that's the legally distinguishable song that we know and like. We had lots of game news.
Yeah, that's right.
Come up. But before we get into the game news, I want to talk about a game that we played. Actually, we played a game together.
We did.
Called Ape Out.
Oh, yeah, we did play Ape Out. Ape Out was fucking
together.
great. That game is phenomenal.
And that is a fantastic game.
Yeah, I really, really liked Ape Out.
It's like a isometric view, almost like Hotline Miami.
It's top-down, right?
Yeah,
Not necessarily isometric.
I thought that's what isometric was. Do I not know what that word means?
Isometric is like you're at an angle. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong.
Man, it's top down.
It's top down isometric gameplay.
You play an ape escaping from a facility where experiments were done on him, and you run through procedurally generated levels that are basically, they're kind of maze-like.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get to the end of the level to reach a checkpoint, and in the middle there are guys who want to shoot you and take you down. But the notable thing about the game is the art style and the music are phenomenal. Yeah. It's like this crazy paper mache almost. Like,
you mean for the art?
Yeah, the art.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, obviously. The music is paper mache.
The music is not paper. Look, that was a dumb thing that I said, and I was hoping we could just gloss right over it.
No, I'm pointing it out. I'm calling you out, Ellis. The art is like cut out paper almost of the ape running around and all the guys, and it's just a contrast of colors. All of the like environments are pretty similarly colored, and your character is like a bright splash of color on it. It's fantastic. And the music is this crazy, like, upbeat, fast-paced jazz.
Yeah, like staccato jazz.
And then whenever you, like, hit a guy or, like, kill a guy, it, like, does, like a snare hit and, like, a cymbal hit.
It changes tempo with how fast you move as well.
Yeah.
Everything kind of, like, ramps up and down based on your actions, and it does so in a way that flows really, really well. You could very easily not notice it if you weren't really paying attention to it. The music never sounds bad if you're not, playing the game well.
Yeah, that's true. It's just a really, really well-crafted, fun game. I know it's on PC and Switch. We played it on the Switch.
Yep.
where it ran great. I'm always nervous about that with Switch games, getting like a game that just like doesn't run quite as good. I experienced that with what was that game?
Wizard of Legend. Yeah.
I had it on PC and it was fun and great, and then I bought it on Switch and it just could not hang.
It couldn't handle it, right?
Yeah.
It happens when games have really, I don't know, like tight timings on controls and stuff, when they're very like action oriented. It matters a lot when you have any amount of like lag or render issues or anything like that. And Wizard of Legend, I think was just an imperfect port, and hopefully they patched it and fixed it. But that was an issue there. And it was why I was initially very hesitant to buy a game like Diablo or Binding of Isaac, because I don't want to play those games with any amount of like latency problems or lag. I guess it wouldn't be latency because you're not really connecting, especially for a single player experience. But
connecting with my
issue.
Inner self.
I guess so. Yeah. When you play Binding of Isaac, it's a very spiritual journey. You should look inward.
You should look inward.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ape Out is a great game. I really enjoyed it. It's well worth the price, basically for the soundtrack alone.
Yeah, it was. It's cheap, right? It's like $20 or
$15. I think it was $15. Yeah, it was $15.
Not even on sale. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. So that was a game that I had a great time playing over the course of this week. Did you have any games that you were playing?
Let's see. There's some games that I've been looking at. I mean, you know, I've been playing, you know, my normal stuff. We've got War of the Spark coming out, so I've been playing a lot of Magic, getting myself pretty hyped for the new set, which hopefully will be a lot of fun. I've been playing some Path of Exile, which I do want to talk about a little bit later, but mostly I've been excited about a game called Steamworld Quest, which comes out on the 25th, so 4 days from now as of this recording. Pretty soon. And it is made by the same company that made all of the other SteamWorld games, like SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Dig 2, and I think there's another one,
SteamWorld Heist.
SteamWorld Heist, which is like a tactics game.
And
I will have the name for you. It is Image and Form Games. I really enjoyed all of those games, especially the SteamWorld Dig ones, because they felt like very good whole experiences. You could play through them in, you know, like a few days or something like that. It wasn't just endless content, but they were very well worth the price. They worked very well. They were visually really interesting. The sound design was good. It controlled well. They were a lot of fun. And I liked that, I don't know, I feel like in the modern era, it's rare that I complete a game. I don't know if that's maybe just me. I know that some people are really like completionists, but I end up getting these, you know, sprawling 400-hour RPGs or these endless loot treadmills like Destiny or Path of Exile or anything like that. And I enjoy those experiences, but it's rare that I complete a game. And all of the SteamWorld games have been these like wonderful, like I get to eat the whole sandwich and I finished my meal. And that's wonderful. I really have appreciated that.
Yeah,
so
I could
Quest
definitely see that.
Has the same great kind of art style going on with it, but it is and here's me reading directly from it, creative role-playing card game. So it ticks literally every single box for me. Crafting your own deck, choosing 100 unique cards. There's a bunch of different characters. I'm not sure if it's co-op, which is like that's the last golden Halo for me to go for when it comes to like, oh wow, they made a game exactly for me, Ellis. But it looks really fun. Like I said, I think the art looks great. I don't know too much about the gameplay mechanics, but it comes out in, like I said, about 4 days on the 25th of April. So I will just give them 25 of my dollars because they've earned it based on all the other games that they've made. I'll buy anything the studio makes now.
Yeah, I definitely understand I just like the studio, so I buy all their games regardless of how much I think I'm going to like them, and I at least give them a shot, and I never regret that purchase.
Yep.
Now, this game is coming out on Switch, which is very notable for me.
Right.
I like having games on the Switch, because I like being able to bring it with me and play it. So this game, I saw the Nindies trailer for it a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay.
And it, to me, looked a little bit like Slay the Spire. I'm not going to say it's exactly like that. That was kind of the impression I got. It was that a similar loop of collecting either guys or cards or something to like kind of craft a deck on the go and then picking your rooms that you go into based on what cards and stuff you've picked.
I imagine it will be quite similar, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely adore Slay the Spire. I have played so much of it, and I'm down to play, even if I just think of it as a Slay the Spire expansion with all new art assets and different mechanics, I'm down for that. I'm cool for more of that content.
Listen, if you're looking for new art for Slay the Spire, there's some mods I can point you to. If you want,
Okay.
if you want all your guys to have anime heads, you can do that.
I don't think that is
you're into
the
that sort of
direction that I would like to take that game, but I appreciate the offer. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right,
Thank you
just
very
letting you
much.
know.
Yeah.
Just looking out for my bud.
Yeah.
So Steamworld Quest, right? That's what this one is called.
Steamworld Quest: Hand of Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh.
Is the subtitle? Yeah.
Is it a mechanoid Gilgamesh?
I don't know. I know, like I said, very little about the story of the game or the world that it takes place in, other than I assume it's the same world that they've all taken place in. And I'm trying to keep it that way. I'm avoiding any kind of like spoilers. I just want to buy the game and jump into it. Dive
into it. Yeah, no, I definitely I understand. So like the world. Now I played SteamWorld Dig 2 with you a bit, but
yeah,
not
we
a whole
played that
lot.
some together.
And the world to me seemed like a kind of like Wild West kind of thing.
So my understanding
Alien
is
Wild
that
West?
that is that part of the world. Is that area is the Wild West, and this takes place in a more like European medieval kind of thing, but with steam robots.
Okay, I mean, I'm into robots.
Yeah,
I like robots. So look out for SteamWorld Quest in 4 days.
In 4 days from this recording.
Now.
Yeah,
the 25th of May. That game was on my list as well. That game looked like a lot of fun.
Did I say April? I did say April earlier. It's totally not April, is it? It's May. No, it is April. What are you talking about, Jacob? You made me second guess myself.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
You don't even know what month it is. It's the 21st of April.
Wait, what did I say?
2016. You said May.
I'm really confused. What's happening right now? I don't know what's happening. I believe you that I said May. There's probably video evidence of me saying
There definitely is, and I'm leaving it in. None of this is getting edited out.
Damn it.
What
I'm excited.
year is it? You kind of look like Alan from
Yes.
From Jumanji.
Go on.
Like
I'm working on it.
Yeah. What is his last name in that?
I have no idea.
It's not Alan Parsons. I know it's not that.
I do not know, but I do know that I am crafting a dress out of palm leaves.
It's banana leaves.
Banana leaves.
If you want to be true to the canon, you need banana leaves.
No. I'm him from the remake.
Oh, from the remake, the tropical remake that he wasn't in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Hey, Ellis, I'm excited about Mortal Kombat 11.
Woo! What's going on with Mortal Kombat 11?
It just looks like a really good Mortal Kombat game.
Okay.
And I got a small chance to play it a little bit, helping Boogie with his review.
Yeah, I was watching.
He wanted to look at the multiplayer and stuff, so I sat down, played a couple of characters. It feels really tight. It feels really good and fun. I really like the handful of characters that I played felt really fun. They were kind of easy to pick up, but I felt like there was some depth there to learn some combos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, why I know I am excited about Mortal Kombat 11 is there was a leak.
Oh no!
Now, I can't 100% get. Listen, this Mortal Kombat game was rife with leaks. They couldn't keep anything under their hat at all. Just every time I was turning around, they were just like spilling characters out of their pockets on accident. Ed Boon is just tripping, coming out of a taxi and just dropping the whole game disc. I don't know if that's what happened. I don't know if that's
no.
What
I'll bet that's exactly what happened. They
did a bunch of like reveal trailers that were really fun and entertaining. We watched all of those, or a bunch of those together, while we were at a friend's house, and they were very entertaining. They made a lot of the characters look super fun and
extremely violent. Yeah,
extremely.
Not that
violent.
That's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, Jesus Christ, Mortal Kombat. I feel like modern games couldn't get away with that.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. If modern games were this insanely gory and gross, I think it's less of the violence and more of the viscera. Viscera. They cranked that viscera dial up.
Yeah.
With no regard for how anyone felt about it, and everyone was cool with it.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well,
I think that's totally fine. I'm just surprised that more people aren't upset.
Yeah, I think that the era of being mad about how violent Mortal Kombat is
That
has
we're
come
done
and
with that
gone.
one? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, it happened so long ago that all of those people have moved on to things that
Got
they
it.
feel are important now.
I
and,
just gets upset about things like sex instead.
yeah.
You know, that's what we've chosen to be upset about. Like, we care that there's not enough sex in games. We care that you told me that character's non-binary, and I don't like that. We care, I don't know, like the things that the community chooses to give a shit about are just completely random and arbitrary, and I don't understand any of it. But whatever.
And also, they move from thing to thing so quickly.
Yes.
That, like, if you just hang out for a little while, a thing that you think people being upset about that's stupid, they'll find a different thing to be upset about.
They won't be mad
in
about it
a
for
month,
very long.
and then you could just go about your day,
Yeah.
not worried about it, or worried about the new thing that they think is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now, I'm going to talk about some Mortal Kombat 11 leaks that happened. If you care about what DLC characters might be included in the future, I would mute the podcast for just a few minutes while I talk about this.
I'll make wild motions with my hands, which won't help any of you, audio people, but that'll let you know whenever he's done with the spoilers.
Yeah, so the way this came about is Switch copies are going out for reviewers, and I guess someone dug into the files on the cartridge. I'm actually not 100% sure on how this came about. I know it was from files found on the Switch cartridge.
Okay, it's all data mining, right? That's how all this shit gets
somebody
found.
data mined the Mortal Kombat Switch. So they found a list of all of the characters that led them to believe that these were the characters that were going to be released as DLC in the future. Now, these are in no particular order. I don't know what order these will come out in. The first one, everyone already knew about this one, was Shang Tsung, who is like kind of the right-hand man of Shao Kahn. He's the soul guy. He takes people's souls and he turns into them.
He's a soul man.
He's a soul man. Which I'm very excited about Shang Tsung. They have gotten the actor from the movie.
He does the voice, right?
Yeah, he does the voice, and it also looks like they modeled the character in the game after him because it looks just like him.
That's so exciting. I love that.
The next one on the list is Joker. Now, I'm going to assume it's Joker from the DC universe because it would be wild to have Joker in both Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and also Mortal Kombat 11 at the same time.
Yeah, that would be strange.
It wouldn't be that out of place. I mean, it would be out of place. It wouldn't be that wild for them to have a character.
I don't know, man. Just stick them all together, right?
Oh, hell yeah!
I want Bowser to like reach into Shao Kahn's head and then just like breathe fire down his neck, and that's his fatality in Mortal Kombat.
That's kind of a Godzilla kind of move, but I'm into it. They should fucking put Godzilla in Mortal Kombat.
They should. It's just a foot. Like it's just a foot.
You just punch a foot.
He has like punch combos, but they don't do anything because he can't reach.
He can't reach you. Excuse me. All right. So the next on the list is Nightwolf, who is from Mortal Kombat 3,
and he's the second movie. I remember Nightwolf.
Oh yeah.
He taught Liu Kang about animalities.
So it's just a Mortal Kombat character that's kind of sprinkled in here as every once in a while there's a Mortal Kombat character
in Mortal Kombat.
Well, I mean, like the DLC rosters are usually guest characters, right?
Right.
Like Kratos and
we had Jason Voorhees,
Leatherface,
and
Jason,
Predator.
and Freddy Krueger. Yeah, Predator and the Xenomorph as well. All right, so the next on the list, speaking of movie tie-ins, is Terminator. Now,
it just
says Terminator, so I don't know. I'm going to imagine, I'm going to like take a wild shot in the dark here. It says probably a T-800.
Okay. I was going to say, do you think they got Arnold to do the voice?
Maybe. It's entirely within the realm of possibilities that is how it went down, but I don't know for sure. We just don't know. We just know that Terminator shows up on the list, and that's the most well-known Terminator that I can think of. So the next one is another Mortal Kombat character, Sindel, first from Mortal Kombat 3.
And also from the second movie.
Second movie had a lot of Mortal Kombat 3 tie-ins, I think.
Guess so.
The next one on the list is Spawn.
Oh!
Which is
cool.
Pretty interesting, actually. So I have no idea how Spawn is gonna work within the game, because Spawn has a lot of like crazy powers
Yeah.
that are not like, I don't know, to me Spawn feels more like a weapon fighter, and there definitely is that in Mortal Kombat, but a lot of it is punchy kick.
Punchy kick.
And I don't remember Spawn doing a lot of,
I mean, he does punchy kicks. They just
decking
like
a guy.
he also has like huge rotating demon blades on his fists that he made out of his magic cape.
So the next one after Spawn is Ash. Now
from Pokemon?
It might be Ash Ketchum. Again, I'm willing to bet that it is Ash from the Evil Dead
okay.
series. Now I'm interested to know what Ash they go with. Like what age he will be.
I guarantee you he will have a chainsaw for a hand.
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah, 100%. And he'll have a shotgun. It's going to be great. I'm very excited about Ash. Well, but the reason I say that is, like, there's definitely, because there's a show that is recent and possibly still ongoing that has Ash in it. Ash versus
Evil Dead.
So they might go with, like, that age.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ash.
It might be
Kind of
older
like
Ash.
But it also makes sense to have him be, like, a younger or fit guy, because a main plot point of the show is that, like, he's kind of old, and like maybe not quite as badass as he used to be.
I hope they got Bruce Campbell to do the voice lines.
I can't imagine they would include Ash without
doing that, right? Yeah.
And if they're gonna get Bruce Campbell, then they probably got Arnold, right?
Right? Come on.
Terminator?
I don't know. I'll bet Arnold's more expensive.
Oh, I'm sure Arnold is more expensive. I don't know. Burn Notice, definitely.
Oh yeah,
rocketed Bruce Campbell's career up there. I don't know. I'm dunking on that guy. I love Bruce Campbell.
I love Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is great, and everything he's in is not great, but that does not matter. He brings an amazing performance to everything he's done.
In the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, he is. He is in the Spider-Man movies.
Some of that is good stuff.
Some of that is very good stuff.
All right. Next on the list is Fujin, God of Wind.
Is that a Mortal Kombat character?
Yes, that one is a Mortal
Kombat.
That
guy's not in Mortal Kombat 2, the movie, so I don't know.
You know how Raiden is god of like lightning?
Lightning and thunder.
And thunder, Fujin is god of wind.
Okay.
And then the last one is Shiva, who is another Mortal Kombat character. It's like she's a the same I think they're called Shokin. I can't remember what they're called. The same people that Goro. She's the same race as Goro.
Oh, okay. Got it.
She's got big forearms with three fingers each.
And spikes coming out of them? Or is that unique to...
No, I don't think so.
Wait, hang on. Not Goro. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Baraka. That's right. Yeah, right.
Guy with no lips and just big bone teeth.
Yeah. He's got a lot of bones.
Baraka, he comes in and his entry animation is him like scraping the bones together and it makes sparks. That's gotta be painful,
well,
right?
He's got sparky bones.
Sparky bones.
Maybe he like rubs them in some kind of filament beforehand. This is a weird road that we're going down, Jacob, where we're talking about like Mortal Kombat lore, of which I know very little. I watched the movies a lot as a kid.
Those movies don't know the lore very well, I don't think either. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the lore good either. I didn't grow up playing Mortal Kombat. My love for Mortal Kombat games is a very recent one.
Okay.
Starting with Mortal Kombat 10. And kind of like the NetherRealm fighting games in general, playing like Injustice. I really liked that game a lot, and Injustice 2. So I'm very excited about Mortal Kombat 11, and like seeing this list of planned DLC fighters makes me very likely to purchase a season pass of content.
Yeah.
Because I know what's in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot in it, and I know what's there. And in general, I'm very hesitant to buy these like season passes.
I've never bought something like that. I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know what I'm paying for. I don't know what I'm getting.
Yeah, that's exactly my problem. Of like I bought the fighter pass for Smash the other day whenever Joker was coming out, because it was like slightly cheaper than buying all of the characters individually.
Yeah.
And like I kind of regretted it. I kind of felt bad because I have no idea what the other fighters are. To be fair, I don't know why I paid $25 to have 6 more buttons that aren't Villager on my character select screen. I'm never going to press those buttons because they're not Villager.
What if they are though? What if the new ones is like Villager
It's
2?
Five new villagers.
Yes, 5 new villagers. Or
if-
it's 3 villagers in a trench coat, like stacked on top of each other. Like that's a new
shit.
fighter.
That sounds ultra powerful. Could not be beat. Could not
Just
be beat.
3 rockets come out. He plants 3 trees at once.
Oh my god.
Makes like a tree skyscraper that just
It's just a really long tree that's
it covers the
map.
whole stage, right? You gotta air dodge it.
So speaking of stages in Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, the
with
stage
update-
creator came out. That's right.
Yeah, the stage creator.
That's so
came out,
exciting.
Version 3.0. Oh, I'm excited too.
Yeah, I
Lots
can't
of
wait
other
to make.
people were also very excited.
That's good. Have people been making like awesome, cool
Big old wieners.
Oh,
Yeah. Big old wieners.
okay. Like,
Yep. Big old Nintendongs. Waving
now,
around the
okay,
stage.
Nintendo. This is 2019.
It is.
There's no way that they would have like some kind of public map preview that everybody could just see. Surely you have to like click on somebody's map to see the dong that they made, right? They wouldn't make any. They learned this from PictoChat, where they had to shut PictoChat down, which sucks because I actually really enjoyed PictoChat. That was like a cool, weird way to talk to people because of all the dingle dongles. Surely they have learned their lesson. I know that they had a similar problem with Splatoon and not learning their lesson with the Splatoon, I don't know, marketplace or wherever everybody like walks around and you can draw things, the plaza, which is just PictoChat and often
more or less
just full of dicks.
Yeah, it could be. So they have developed some wiener detecting algorithm
Okay.
to help weed out these bad shapes that people draw. But apparently it didn't work good enough, and people were certainly able to sneak stuff by
Got it.
the advanced AI,
The
that looks at
advanced
dick pics.
wiener detection algorithm. That's got to be a weird thing to make, you know? Like, can you imagine, you know, you've got like software engineer on your Tinder profile, but when you swipe right and you go on the date and she's like, hey, so what do you, I mean, like, you know, I understand what that means, but like, what do you actually do? Do you say, oh, I spend all day writing algorithms that can detect penises?
Yeah, listen, it depends
Somebody
on...
has that job.
Oh yeah, definitely. I imagine there's a whole team of people who are in charge of keeping the dicks off of Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And and listen, I applaud them. Okay, they were hired to do a job.
Yeah.
They're doing what I'm going to imagine is a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because I haven't logged on to that to look and
Okay.
see. I've flipped through tweets looking for people posting interesting levels that they found.
Yeah.
And yeah, they found some. My favorite thing that people have done is instead of they themselves drawing a donger,
Okay.
they draw whatever is supposed to have the donger in the
Okay.
background in such a way
Uh-huh.
that uses the background imagery to make
Oh,
a big wiener.
So they hide the donger.
Yes. In
Hidden.
Nintendo's own creation.
Got it.
The Trojan horse of
The-
wiener.
Literally a Trojan horse. Yep. Oh, God. Well, okay. I on the one hand, I'm not surprised. Honestly, I'm kind of proud. Okay? It would not be the internet. It would not be, you know, the culture if somebody did not immediately try and find ways to draw dicks on things. All right? Humanity
Of
has been
course.
shit posting for our entire fucking existence, and I hope we never stop.
Yeah, why would we? It's great. This specific instance, not that great. But people are getting creative, and I can get behind that.
I can applaud
People-
creativity.
People have also been making a lot of levels referencing specific jokes. Stuff like loss and
Oh yeah, of course.
steamed
Right.
hams.
I know that one of the memes going on right now is that Bayonetta is Joker's mom. I don't know if you've seen that. There's like
I
a
have
lot
not.
of posts.
Okay.
They look kind of vaguely similar.
They do,
And
yeah, I guess.
I've seen some pretty good like fan art of that. Very similar to how when Overwatch came out, everybody just decided, no, this one's the mom and this one's the dad.
Yeah, okay. I mean, like, they did that whenever Ultimate first came out. They kind of just paired up Isabel and Snake.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, they're buddies, and they hang out, and they,
Uh-huh.
like, train together and do stuff together. But, like, I don't know what the driving force behind that was. I don't know why people just,
Who
like,
knows,
decided
right?
this is how it is.
I'm always
how it
shocked
is.
and surprised and a little tickled when that kind of stuff happens.
But yeah, no, that update is out. The stage builder is out. There's also a video editor within the actual software of Super Smash Brothers, where you can like pull clips that you've
Oh, for
recorded
replays.
for replays and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, and then you can like it's not like super robust, but like I wouldn't expect it to be. You just kind of drop clips in. You can like clip stuff out. You can do transitions, and you can put music in, and it pulls from the tracks from the game. So like, there's a huge variety of songs to pull from to post these, and then they get posted. The other big thing that came from the update, I say big. They think it's big. I don't think it's actually that big. The smartphone app for Nintendo now supports Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In ways that you can like look at people's videos that they've posted, look at the stages they've edited, that sort of thing.
Look out, TikTok! Nintendo's coming for you.
They're working on it. Which as far as I know, the smartphone app is the only way to report levels.
Oh, okay.
Or report a user for making a thing that would be offensive, or against any sort of terms of service. Through the actual browser on your system, there doesn't seem to be a way to report people that I know of. They could have implemented it recently, so I think it's just like a bunch of like the dong algorithm and like Nintendo moderators going through just like taking out the levels that are bad.
Got it.
Whatever they perceive as bad, which is interesting that they didn't go with the report feature.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they did not,
especially with something so low impact like it. On the user end, like having, if you had made a video and people kind of brigaded you and voted your thing out of existence, that would suck. I would see why they would want to prevent that, but it seems like the getting rid of big dongs.
I mean, yeah, like that seems like it probably
might be a little better.
Yeah, it takes precedence, and also it's not like it takes the content away from you, right? You still have the dick level that you made, or the level that you like that is not a dick but people hated for whatever reason. You can still play it with your friends. You can still like make games with that level and try and get people to join it. You just can't share it with the community. And I think that's a small price to pay to keep the dicks out.
And other objectionable things. People may not like.
Right, which are, probably dicks are probably like the least of the worries. That's like kind of silly and inappropriate for children, and like, don't fucking draw dicks. But I would be more concerned with more hateful things, which I'm sure have been at least attempted.
Definitely. Which sucks, but what are you gonna do? People are gonna do that. Hey, are you ready for a weird question?
Oh my god, I'm so ready.
This is from my fiance, Megan. She asked me this. Why do we call them giraffes and not just like long cows or tall cows?
Well, they're closer to horses than cows.
We had those things. Why did we see a thing that looked like a thing we already had, like a cow? And they were like, we need a different name for that.
Well, giraffe is not an English word, and they didn't have cows.
Did they not?
I don't know. I think it's different enough. All right.
You think it's different enough?
Look, okay. If I was like, hey, I'm gonna introduce you to my brother. Okay.
Okay.
He's a long boy. You'd be like, oh yeah, he's like pretty tall. That's what you would think. But if you met him and his neck was 6 feet long, you would, react with horror because what the fuck? You didn't tell me that your brother was literally a different species. How does that even work?
Okay, you make a fair point here. You make a fair point here.
I think that's probably what they're different enough, right?
They're different enough that they warrant having their own name.
Yeah, I mean, if they just had like a little bit of a longer neck and like slightly longer legs and the two little weird horn things that they got with the balls on the end of them, then I'd be like, yeah, okay, I get that. But
little, like, nobules.
Yeah, they got
on
little
the end of their
nubs,
horns.
little horn.
Okay,
nubs.
well then what about horses and zebras?
Well, again, there weren't horses there, right?
Where zebras were at?
Yeah.
There were only zebras?
Well, there were
But
other animals. There just weren't horses. It's not like zebras evolved alone on an island.
They're from Zebraland.
From
Okay.
Zebraland. New Zebraland.
New Zebraland. All right, that's enough of that. Okay. So
I feel bad because that was a good question and I answered it with like a very reasonable response.
it's fine. It's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you come up with a bit that we could like run with and joke
I didn't
with.
have a good
Sometimes-
bit for why we don't
sometimes
just
that-
call giraffes long horses.
Sometimes that bit just goes, no, we're gonna do a serious answer. I do it. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Do you have a weird question for me? Did you come up with any?
I thought about it really
Okay.
for quite some time, and
Okay.
I got nothing, man. I
That's
did
fine.
not have any good long or any good long questions for you.
Any good long boy
Yeah.
questions? Yeah, I thought long and hard. Also came up with none, so I texted my
Aw.
fiance.
Got
And then
it.
she came up.
We're
she came
sourcing
up
content.
with
Please, everyone, help us.
I was stumbling around just looking at like video game news stuff that was
Mhm.
happening. Two Worlds 2.
Oh,
Do you remember this game?
yeah, that's an old game. That gets like speedrun
Worlds
on
2.
on
You say
AGDQ
it's
and
old.
stuff.
You say it's old.
But age ain't
Here-
nothing but a number.
Whoa. Okay. Here in a couple of weeks, I think. I don't know if there's an exact date on it.
Uh-huh.
The last piece of DLC for their season pass is going to be released.
Oh my god, what? When did that game come out?
8 years ago.
Okay, I mean, look, WoW still has DLC.
Yeah. it
So
does.
I
You're right.
guess, but I didn't think that Two Worlds 2 was really on that same level.
I didn't
of
think it was either.
Content
Now-
creation. Good for them.
If you want to buy Two Worlds 2 on Steam, it is currently $20. That's not a sale price, it just is $20.
Okay.
If you would like to buy the season pass,
Yeah.
it's $40. Which is this seems like a lot to me.
That seems like
But
a lot of.
Here's the thing. I don't know how much
Is there
content
more than
actually-
twice the game in the season pass?
I don't know. I didn't play Two
Is there a
Worlds
whole
2.
third world?
Yeah, why didn't they just call this one Three Worlds?
Well, because it's still Two Worlds 2.
Okay. All right. There's 4 pieces of DLC plus a bunch of like little bits of content like soundtracks and weirdly like a digital game guide. Because one of the
Oh.
pieces of DLC came out like in 2015 and I
Yeah.
guess game guides kind of still existed a
Yeah,
little
I
bit,
guess so.
around 2015?
Sure.
which still would have been 4 years after that game came out.
Yeah. Man, I remember my old Prima strategy guide. Prima? What is that
I
company?
think it's Prima.
Prima?
Well,
Yeah,
it was
for-
Prima.
For
They don't
Final
even
Fantasy
exist anymore.
7.
Ooh,
Couldn't
was
have
it
played through that game without it. It was so helpful. It told me where all the materia was. Told
Nice.
me like, where all the secret elixirs that I could find were that I'm just gonna hoard and never use.
You were one of those who died with like a
Yep.
full pocket
Oh,
of
full
Phoenix
pocket.
Downs.
Yep. No, not Phoenix Downs. You could buy Phoenix Downs, but you can't buy ethers and you can't buy elixirs. So
Oh, okay.
you gotta save those until
I'm not
the end of the game.
I see. Okay. But yeah, I thought it was crazy that Two Worlds 2, that game that is 8 years old, is
Mhm.
finally wrapping up their season pass. Actually, I don't know that they're wrapping it up. They may just continue to add to it. I don't know who's still working on that game or
Yeah.
what they could possibly be doing. I read the notes for this particular one, and
Mhm.
it seemed like it added a lot of content. They
All
boasted
right.
like a bunch of missions, and they're like adding new guilds for whatever that is.
Okay. Look,
In the game,
it sounds like they're doing better than Heroes of the Storm.
I do know that people out there like Two Worlds 2. Like the people who like Two Worlds 2 are pretty vocal about liking that game.
Okay.
And kind of I understand what this game is. I still had fun with it and excited to
Mhm.
see new content for it. I get that it's not like an amazing game or anything.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate, right? I can appreciate because I like a lot of really shitty movies. I know they're shitty. That's part of why I like them.
It's perfectly okay to like bad things. I like so many bad things.
You said Two Worlds 2 is doing better than Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah.
Is there news on that front?
Well, no, that's why. That's why it's doing better. There's
Okay.
no news on that front.
No news.
They merged the ranked queues together, so you can actually kind of get a game, which is nice. The queue times are not quite as long as they used to be. What else?
What are the queue times right now?
Patched the game. You know, they still come out with like balanced tuning patches and stuff, but I doubt we'll ever see any more content. Like, I don't know if we're ever going to get new maps. I don't know if we'll even ever get another character.
Ooh. How many characters are in the game, roughly? I don't know.
Roughly 50? I'm like swinging in the dark. I have no idea. Despite playing that game, you know, like at least a few times a week, I couldn't tell you. There's not as many as in Dota and Heroes of and League of Legends.
Yeah, well, those keep getting them.
Yes.
they keep making them. And
yeah.
Blizzard
those games aren't dead.
They gave up on reaching that size of game. Well, it sucks that game is like kind of slowly petering out.
Who knows? Maybe it'll pick up, but I doubt it. Right?
I don't.
Look,
I
play exclusively dead games. I play Heroes of the Storm. I play Gwent. I tried to play Artifact, and it was just like after 10 minutes of like watching a movie, I looked over and I just gave up. I was like, okay, well, I cannot play this game anymore, which is a shame. Though I think Valve has said like we're not going to abandon it. We do plan to do something with it.
They just pivoted.
Yeah.
They made a blog post saying something to the effect of like, hey, we had like a bunch of content and stuff planned. Clearly there isn't anyone really around to experience that content, so instead of releasing all of that, we're just going to focus on making the game one that people want to play, gain back that player base, and then we'll start rolling out new content that we had planned.
Good, man. I hope they can do something.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I hope they make that game interesting, because it's not a bad game. It is a good game. It just had like a bunch of little factors all over it that made enough people not play it. That the people who were playing it got frustrated and also stopped playing it.
Yep, absolutely.
Which, yeah, it's unfortunate when that kind of thing happens.
Well, speaking of new games, or I guess new content, Pagan Online hit early access, I think today. Or maybe like sometime this weekend or something like that.
It's a pretty recent release.
I had been vaguely following that game because I like action RPGs. Like I said, I played Path of Exile. I played a lot of Diablo 3 and so on. And it looks okay, you know. Visually, it's nothing too striking. It looks very similar to that kind of like cartoony, blocky art style that Torchlight kind of has, and Blizzard games tend to have, not Diablo. But I don't know, nothing to write home about. I'm not like blown away by the art or anything like that. I was watching a couple of streamers play it, and the general gist that I got was that the controls feel good and they matter. It's supposed to be like a little bit harder, or rather, you have to pay a lot more attention. A lot of like late game Diablo can just be, you know, you push right click and teleport, and then you use your move that hits the whole screen and you blow everything up, right, until you're like pumping, you know, the hardest of greater rifts. This game is supposed to be a little bit more engaging. You have to like really manage your cooldowns and use your abilities to like dodge and land skill shots and so on and so on. But it's hard to know how trusted those opinions are, because like those people could just be bad at the game, right? I'm not going to call anybody out specifically, and nobody looked like they were, but it's hard to know that without playing it or getting a wider experience. But I don't know, it's $30 and it's an early access, and that's a lot for an early access title, especially since I think, and I could be wildly off base. In fact, I'm just going to look it up because I was going to say I think there might be microtransactions in it, and I don't know that, and I don't want to give anybody false information, so I'm going to find out. But if you're going to charge me, you know, $30 to play your early access unfinished game and then also have microtransactions.
So is there something like unique about this game that like draws you to it, that has you looking at it right now? Because I feel like this
the newest of the genre.
Okay, I was gonna say it feels like this space is I'm not gonna say crowded by any means, but there are options within this space that are already pretty well established and, from what I understand, pretty good. So I'm wondering what Pagan Online is doing in this space that makes it interesting to you. The online part of their title makes me feel like it's an MMO of some kind.
Right. It's not, as far as I can tell. It looks like it's just like any other, Diablo style thing, which, is kind of it's an action MMORPG, right?
Sure. Yeah.
There's Diablo and Path of Exile are like sufficiently different, right?
Yeah.
One is a lot more like grindy and number crunchy and about like the minutia of builds and so on and so on. And Diablo is a lot more viscerally exciting and some would say fun to play, right? There's that Blizzard level of polish on it that I know people really enjoy. This game, like I said, it's the newest of the genre, and it's a genre that I enjoy, so I pay attention to everything that comes out in it. I'll even check out Diablo Immortal if we ever see that. I don't know if it will be a good game or not, but I will pay attention to games that come out like this because I like the genre. I'm not necessarily going to buy all of them.
Sure.
And this one, I need to see more before I know if it's missable or not.
Not a $30 early access.
$30 is pretty steep for an early access game, especially if you're not, talking about even like a AAA title or something like that.
Sure.
I we've talked about this a lot. I generally don't like having to pay you to be your beta tester. That's pretty shitty. But that's the world that we live in now, and I guess, I shouldn't complain.
I'm not against early access games wholesale. But just in general, like paying for an unfinished product when I don't know what the end product is going to look like. I mean, I can look at your roadmap, I can see what your goals are, and a lot of times I will say playing early access games, they have lived up to their goals and I haven't felt ripped off, but the times that I do, it really sucks.
Well, so that's a big point that you bring up about having a roadmap. If a game has like, hey, here's our design manifesto, here's our roadmap, here's what we want to do, and it's a real one, not just like, yeah, we want to finish the game, but it's like, no, by this, quarter 2 2020, this is where we plan to be, this is what, we want to make, this is why we started doing it. I'm a lot more likely to buy an early access game or, pay to play your beta or whatever, because I feel like I can trust you.
I guess so. I see what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree with it, but from my side, I just feel like if I look at your roadmap and see when all of the cool, fun features will be in the game, I'll just wait and play your game until it's cool and fun and good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very reasonable response.
I'll just wait for the game to be where I want to play it.
I can't argue against that. I think that's totally reasonable.
A lot of times what happens is I buy Hades, for example, and I really like that game, and it's a lot of fun. And then I play the content that's there, and then they update it a little bit and they put a little bit of stuff in it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to see that new character. I'm kind of done playing Hades though, and I don't want to play that game more to see that character because I'm kind of done playing that game. So now I'm just in a place where I just wait on the game, and at that point I could have just waited till the game came out and was a fully realized product that I could look at and assess as a whole and decide whether or not I wanted to buy it.
Yeah. Hades, I think it was worth $20 to me to play it when on release. There was enough there that I got my money's worth, but I have no desire to play it piecemeal after that. I'm just gonna wait for the full release. I'm not gonna play it every single update to experience the new content. It's the same with Risk of Rain 2, which is a game that I really, really enjoyed. I've played enough of that game that I'm not gonna touch it again until it's in 1.0.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with Hades, right? I don't regret spending the $20 on that game. I love Supergiant. I want to support everything that they do. I loved what was there for Hades. I'm not going to play every little update. I'm going to wait till it's 1.0, and then I'll play it again whenever it's a full, complete product and see what changed. Because sometimes things will happen where they'll make humongous changes over the course of the process of bringing it into 1.0 that'll make it like a completely different game.
Yeah, and hopefully a better one. Yeah, absolutely.
Dead Cells 1.0, they were just like, all right, everybody's been playing this game for a really long time, and we're just gonna blast it with changes and flavor blast it with all these cool little tweaks and changes to how a bunch of the systems work and make it a new game for people who have been playing it up until now. So we can always get things like that, but I don't know that every developer is going to do that.
I think that's the exception rather than the rule, right?
Probably,
and fundamentally, and this kind of brings me to a closing question that I want to hear your answer to, but also I would love to hear you guys' responses in chat if you're in the Discord, because I want to hear the community feedback on this. What do you think about games coming out unfinished. We get more unfinished games now, it feels like, than finished games. And I don't even just mean early access. Fallout 76 wasn't finished when it released in 1.0, right? It's still not finished. That game feels like it's still in early alpha. You know, maybe we've transitioned to beta by now with all of the fixes and updates and stuff. But it's not even just that early access is such a huge part of the marketplace. Full games that release, like this was a big problem with Anthem, where that game felt unfinished and people complained about a lot of the systems not being tuned or not working correctly. That's strange to me, you know, growing up in a time when that was not the case, when it was very, very rare for a game to come out that was just not done. We got games that were bad or games, you know, sometimes that didn't work, but now it's such a huge part of, and an accepted part of the culture, that you can release a game that doesn't have an ending or is missing 6 of the 12 characters that you plan to have in it.
Yeah, so I think that this is a growing pain towards a culture where almost every game is a live service game, where as opposed to getting 100% of a game all up front, you get little bits of the game and that gets added on to, and also it would change the structure of how games are built as well, with you know how like fighting games now have all these they have a season of characters, and then you pay for just the year's worth of characters that come out, either ahead of time or you buy in piecemeal, however you want to do it. I think it's a growing pain towards an industry where more likely than not every game is a live service game. Every game is
or has elements of it,
or has small elements of it. And that's not to say that like every game's going to be bad because it's going to be incomplete or like broken in some way, because I'm sure there will be lots of games that are on release, it feels like a 1.0 game, and they just kind of like stack stuff on top of it and stack stuff on top of it, and it just gets better and better. Or games that just fully release. We have hundreds of games that come out throughout the year that are, here's the thing I made, and then the developer of it doesn't touch it anymore. They don't update it.
That's it. That's the whole thing.
Unless it's broken for whatever reason, they put it out and then they move on to their next project and they start working on new stuff or whatever.
Absolutely, that does still happen. I mean, you know, God of War was a great example of a completely finished product when it released, and people loved it, and it got Game of the Year for a reason. My question is really just like that used to be, well, of course, right? That's the norm, and now that's moving more and more towards the exception, or it's moving more and more towards like a weird 50-50 where half the games we get just are, you know, half games.
I think that it is possible. I'm not saying likely or will happen or whatever. No, I'm no prognosticator. It'll shift more and more towards games as a live service. Now we will, the industry as a whole, hopefully would get better at it. That we wouldn't get Assassin's Creed Unities all the time. We would get Assassin's Creed Origins, that is like a pretty good game on its own, and then they kind of add content to it over the course of time. And so with a lot more games being a live service, we would get a more complete experience at the beginning. And I think that this will come with a change or a shift in how we pay for games as well. Things like Google Stadia open up the possibility of, instead of you paying $60 for every single video game that comes out, you pay a service, you pay Microsoft for your Game Pass, $15 a month, and then you just get to play all of the games. So Microsoft is now incentivized to make a certain level of quality product that will attract people to pay $15 a month to play all of their games. And it's possible that some of this will include like single player story experiences or just straight multiplayer games like PUBG that have like no story at all. But instead of paying a publisher $60 for a game, and then you kind of are just like, well, it was a good game or a bad game, or it was incomplete or it was complete, or now I need to pay $50 for the rest of the content to finish up the story for this game, you just pay $15 a month, or however. I'm just using that number because that's the number of what it is right now for how much it costs for those kinds of services. I imagine it would be much more expensive, closer to $30 or $40 a month.
Probably.
But I mean, like, that's not necessarily,
if that's the direction that we move, then I have less of a problem. playing an unfinished game, right? Because I've already paid for it. Right,
Sure.
I already
It's
paid my
built into
$40
the
a month,
cost.
and I got my 6 finished games that I wanted to play. So now it's not really a big deal when I get a game that is buggy and unfinished, because like I might have been looking forward to it, and that sucks. But as long as there are still things on the platform that are not that way, it's not as bad when there are early
Sure.
accesses and stuff like that. Now my worry. And this, I don't know how tinfoil hat this is, but fundamentally these companies are all out there to make money, and I feel like the reality is going to be that you will get you'll pay your $30 a month to play the game, but if you want to play it when it releases, or if you want to play early access, you got to pay a fee.
Sure.
Like per game.
Possible.
And I cannot believe that they will not try and do that. And I really hope that we as a community will, refuse to pay those kinds of taxes.
We already do pay it, Ellis.
I know, but I'm saying if we move in this direction, that's a great chance for us to not do that. Now,
Sure.
I'm living in fantasy
Cease
world,
that behavior.
but it'd be nice.
Sure. I mean, like, the future of games is unclear and rough with stuff like Google Stadia on the horizon. We're getting an Xbox One S that is digital only.
Mm-hmm.
It has no disc drive whatsoever. And with it, they are bundling the Xbox Live Gold and the Xbox Game Pass into one convenient price. It's not, if you buy those things by the year, like separately, a la carte, and then you combine them, you don't actually save any money. It's more of just a convenience thing of kind of having them built into one price. But I mean, like, that door is open for that to be the way that it works, that you just pay a fee to a company and then you gain access to either download the games or play them on some server in some Google data center somewhere, or Microsoft data center, or whatever. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, because like, I'm an idiot.
You're no
I don't know how shit works.
prognosticator.
As stated, I am no prognosticator. But I could see a world where that's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And I could see a world where that works out great for us, possibly.
Yeah.
But there's also the option that it doesn't.
Uh-huh.
Because greedy companies are out there to make money, right? Like, that's what they're designed to do, is make the maximum amount of money as possible.
Yep.
And we, on the consumer side, have to shield ourselves from those practices and behaviors, because they will take advantage of us at every single turn possible.
Who knows? I mean, this kind of future of gaming stuff, it can be difficult to predict, and new technologies, new economic shifts, all this stuff like plays this big role that we can't possibly make accurate predictions on. It's interesting to think about, and like I said, I really want to hear the comments in the video. I want to know what you guys think about this kind of stuff. I want to know your opinions, and if you have an idea on where you think the industry is heading, or you have some insight, maybe you work in the industry, I'd love to know your opinions. We absolutely do read those comments, so please check it out and drop us feedback. We live for it.
We do. We live for it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out for this boogie-less episode. I mean, we have some boogie in us, but we don't have the full boogie.
No, we were like, what, 40% boogie?
Probably. Yeah.
Because we just hung out with him.
I might be like 50% boogie.
Yeah.
But anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. We love that you spend your time with us. We live for it. So like Ellis said, wherever you're consuming this, rate it, leave a comment. We absolutely try to read all of that stuff. We love getting that feedback from you guys. We just want to know what you think. We want to know what you want us to talk about, what you don't want us to talk about, all that stuff. Let us know. We want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons.
Absolutely.
Over at patreon.com/thebigstackpodcast. We everything you do for us, we appreciate it so much.
Thank you guys. It's why we get to keep doing this.
Absolutely. So if you enjoyed either me, or Ellis, or both, preferably both, we both stream together at twitch.tv/thebig_breakfast. That happens 4 days a week in the evenings around 5 p.m. Central Time. We do some talk show stuff. We play some video games. We laugh, we joke, we have fun. We live, laugh, learn. Live, laugh, love?
Yeah, it's the Live, Laugh, Love show. We don't do any of that. I don't remember the last time I learned a thing. Anyways, I get dumber every time we stream.
Come check us out over on Twitch.
If you want to get dumber too, come check us out at big_breakfast. Twitch.
I don't think this needs to be said, but we thank you so much for Boogie. To Boogie. If you haven't heard of him for some reason, go check him out on YouTube. Boogie, YouTube/C/Boogie2988.
That's
he does
right.
some wacky internet stuff.
He does.
Don't
And he'll be
miss
back
what
again
he's up
next
to.
week unless his
Hopefully.
teeth, turn against him again and he has to fight them off in the Shadow Realm.